going to ask the Lord for His Word, and I'm going to reflect upon the devil. And I read to you from Romans 8:1. We have received the Spirit. This contradiction no longer exists for those who are in Jesus Christ. For in Jesus Christ, the law of the Spirit of life has set me free from the law of sin and death. The law was without effect because flesh was not responding. Then God, planning to destroy sin, sent His own Son in the likeness of those subject to the sinful human condition. By doing this, He condemned the sin in this human condition. Since then, the perfection intended by the law will be fulfilled in those not walking in the way of the flesh, but in the way of the Spirit. Those walking according to the flesh tend towards what is flesh. Those led by the Spirit to what is the Spirit. Flesh tends towards death, while the Spirit aims at life and peace. What the flesh seeks is against God. It does not agree. It cannot even submit to the law of God. So those walking according to the flesh cannot please God. Yet your existence is not in the flesh, but in the Spirit, because the Spirit of God is within you. If you did not have the Spirit of Christ, you will not belong to Him. But Christ is within you. Though the body is branded by death as a consequence of sin, the Spirit is life and holiness. And if the Spirit of Him who raised Jesus from the dead is within you, He who raised Jesus Christ from among the dead will also give life to your mortal bodies. Yes, He will do it through His Spirit who dwells within you. Then, brothers, let us leave the flesh and no longer live according to it. If not, we will die. Rather, walking in the Spirit, let us put to death the body's deeds so that we may live. All those who walk in the Spirit of God are sons and daughters of God. Then, no more fear. You did not receive a spirit of slavery, but the Spirit that makes you sons and daughters, and every time we cry, Abba, this is Dad, Father. The Spirit assures our spirit that we are sons and daughters of God. If we are children, we are heirs. Ours will be the inheritance of God, and we will share it with Christ. For if we now suffer with Him, we will also share glory with Him. The word of the Lord. People in the church today do not speak about the devil, and there are many reasons. Sometimes when it is the clergy that do not want to speak about the devil, some of it is because they are afraid, some of it they don't believe the devil exists, and some they have business with the devil, so they don't want to mention it. So whatever it is the reason, I think it is very important to know our enemy. You know, it's like we are the army of God, and we are fighting against an enemy, and that's why we are called an army. That's why we are baptized, and we were chosen from among all of humanity to be an army. You know, when you are in a nation, a country like this, well, this wouldn't be the perfect case, because I understand they don't have an army here, but I'm sure they probably have police. But every country has an army, and the army personnel are citizens that have the same rights of the rest of the nation people, the rest of the citizens. They have the same rights, but the army is in charge of security, safety of the nation. So when we see all of humanity, we are the spiritual army of humanity. That means we were chosen to be the police, a spiritual police, to guard souls. Therefore, we are soldiers of the army of God. Now, how could we ever be soldiers if we don't know who we're fighting against? So that's why it's so absurd that people today claim that we shouldn't speak so much about the devil, because obviously that is the devil's work. He wants to be like ignored, and also to the point where people will think that this devil doesn't really exist as a person, and it's just like an evil force, like some people claim, because all these movements of New Age present evil as a force, an energy, a negative energy in nature, not a spirit, and not a force that is defined in any particular way. So therefore they take away the person of evil. And evil is not a spirit, but it's a force or an energy, and it's not true. The fact is that evil exists, and evil is an army. It's a fallen army. And it begins with the falling of the spirits of God that fell from heaven. 1/3. St. John revealed to us in the book of Revelations that 1/3 of the angels fell, were thrown down to earth. So therefore they are persons, individuals. And they have a head, a commander. And we know that is Satan. Satan commands. There are many names of demons, and we find Lucifer. We find so many other names, of demons. But they all belong to an army, and we will have to get into Catholic demonology in order to understand each one of the names that have been revealed through time, and that the Church knows. And the church has an account of all this demonology. But in this particular reflection, I think we concentrate more, not so much on the theology and demonology, but in the person of the devil. So, in the action of that person against us, and who are we dealing with, and what is it that we're doing to really acknowledge the presence of the evil in our life, and how does that evil works against us, and what is it that evil force wants, and how does it work? So the first thing we have to do in order to place Satan where he belongs is to acknowledge that he does exist. That is very important. See, sometimes we feel the fear of his presence, and then we don't want to mention it or deal with it. And then if we really place ourselves as a battalion of the army, we are here because God brought us together in order to strengthen us and prepare us for the next battle. You see, that's what spiritual exercises are about. That's what a retreat is about. A retreat is about recollecting, is stopping for a little bit, breathing in and checking the battle, like acknowledging where we are at. What is it that we're fighting against? How is the enemy manifesting lately? Can we see the attacks on the community and our personal lives in the last season? And this is what strategical work, spiritual warfare, and we have to always be alert, detecting how the devil is moving. Not because we are to live a life of fear, because we should not fear, we should not be afraid, because we are the winning army. But the fact that we are the winning army, that doesn't mean we are not to be prepared all the time. We have to be even more prepared than anybody, because we are the biggest nightmare of the devil. So he's coming after us. And for sure he's coming with all he's got. He doesn't come with 80%. He comes with 100%, like we were saying before. He comes in with all he's got. That's why what is happening to the church today, the church is not coming against Satan with all the church has. See, a lot of people are lukewarms. They are tepid souls that are not holding the weapons of the church. So, and they come to confront the devil with 60%, 30%, 40% of the force. And that's why the devil tears them down. That's why we see so many scandals in the church today. Why are so many priests falling? Why are so many religious communities falling apart? Because of New Age, because of all kinds of impurity and so many things. They just closed down, and I don't know if you heard, they just closed down, the Vatican closed down a convent in Rome, and it's the Holy Cross of Jerusalem convent, where all the relics of the cross are. That community, Oblates, or I forgot what the name, they were doing New Age rituals, and There was a nun with a crucifix that will go around the altar, and they were right there at the Holy Cross of Jerusalem, that order. It is one of the biggest shrines, sanctuaries of Rome, and it's a very sacred place. And then the community that was living there, that was in charge of that, fell into New Age. And then the Vatican closed down the convent, and it's closed down. Only the relics are being exposed to the pilgrims because someone else was running the relics and the shrine, but it was within the convent, the convent there. So they took all these monks, got them out of there, the nuns, everybody. So they fell into this. Satan got in there. Obviously, there are relics that are an absolute nightmare to the devil. Imagine a piece of the Holy Cross, a big piece, and they have thorns of the crown of thorns. They have a finger of St. Thomas. They have many things there, So it is a place for him to desecrate. And he did, they did horrible things there. And so a lot of the people in the church are not aware of the battle we are waging, and against who. So, and because we cannot see the spiritual world, some people ignore it. And St. Paul says very clearly, our struggle is not among flesh and blood, but with the spirits that roam the air, principalities, powers of the dark. And it is a fact that they exist. It is a fact they hate us. It is a fact they want to destroy us. There is no doubt about it. It is also a fact that we should not be afraid if we are faithful. See, if we are faithful to God, there should be nothing we should fear, only sin we should fear. Because that's the only thing that can hurt us and get us in the hands of the devil. So, a lot of people ask, does witchcraft works? I mean, can people do witchcraft to you and actually hurt you? And the answer is, yes, witchcraft does work, but only to those that are in mortal sin. See, if you are in mortal sin, any type of evil will get you, because you belong to it. You are underground. And demons fight against one another. You know how thieves, after they steal whatever they steal, they get together to split what they steal, and some of them kill each other for what they just stole. So that's the devil, they are like that. They are not in harmony. They don't like each other. They hate each other. They hate everything and everybody. So evil spirits are like gangs. When they come in, they all run to get what they want, but they are not together. Only those princes of the dark, when they come in, they straighten them up. Only when they are around imparting whatever they impart among them, and then that prince of the dark comes in to do the most horrible things, even with his own soldiers, because that's the way they work. It's like when I was kidnapped by the guerrillas in Colombia, they were like demons. They were fighting against each other. They will kill each other and execute each other anytime over nothing, and then they will always be competing and hating each other all day long. And I could see the devil at work. They all were demonic. They were demonic. They were people that were slaves, like almost puppets of the spirits of evil, because they were in mortal sin, all of them, and they were killers. They were people filled with hatred, and so the devil loves that. And so when we speak about the person of the devil, then we know it's a body. The mystical body of Jesus is made by each one of us. Each one of us is a cell of the mystical body of Christ. And St. John says, the Antichrist is here. Everyone that is against Christ is an Antichrist. So therefore, if you want to see the real Antichrist,